Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today to share some work that I was able to do with a couple of colleagues that really expanded our ideas of transformation. So I'm just going to get the slides started and we'll get going with the discussion. So the corporation that I was working in had questions about how to face the challenges of serving their customers and how to position themselves to take advantage of new markets and how to innovate. And as we know, the aerospace industry has seen disruption already. And so how could they get ahead of those potential threats? So then transformation became the topic of the day. And this problem started with a question, first of all. And the question was, can we build and design engines faster than 5 years? So this is a complicated product that is developed in a complex environment, multi-year development projects, programs with sometimes 1,000 people can be working on one of these systems. We observe, a few things that were very typical in most large conglomerates. So if you're familiar with Conway's law or the mirroring hypothesis, then you know that any organization that designs a system will produce a design whose copy is a structure of the organization's communication structure. So naturally we saw silos, organization around disciplines and departments rather than value streams. There were boundaries for information sharing that were based on countries, which was exacerbated by heightened or tightened ITC constraints to share and protect technical data, so data wouldn't be leaked where it shouldn't be. There was also expecting quality in. Lengthy reviews and multiple reviews where others were inspecting quality rather than it being built into the ways of working. And the list goes on. Additionally, they had standard work and a lean operating system, which that sort of worked for operations, but they were trying to push that into engineering, and it was causing friction in engineering because they didn't have the flexibility that they needed to do the type of work that is done in engineering and design. They couldn't unlock velocity or flow. Things seemed to be getting slower. So there was a lack of understanding of the interconnectedness of the system as well. How and where to try things, whether that's a new tool, new ways of working, or changes to the org structure. There was one team that we coached. We helped them experiment with a new material for engine fan design. And we helped them change from a typical V model and these lengthy design and kind of sort of kicking things over the wall and kicking them back between disciplines. We changed to a somewhat co-located and collaborative team, multidisciplinary team that designed experiments. So we asked them, well, how would you run this experiment? What's the first question that you need to answer? If that goes well, what's the second question that you need to answer? If that goes well, what's the third question that you would need to answer? And they put that together in a plan, 3 hypotheses, three tests, based on their hypothesis about this material, what they would need, what were the dependencies, what were the actual physical things they needed to build in order to test this new material. And one of the scientists on the team, he had 30 years of experience in this domain. I remember him saying to me this quote, I remember how we used to work. We'd just start building until we got it right. But somewhere along the way, the red tape came in, standard work came in, and we started to slow down. And I'm just not sure how that happened. So the question was, like, could we duplicate this? Could we take a team and think of an outcome we want to achieve and sort of change the way we work? How could that happen? I mean, that was part of the essence of the transformation. Additionally, there was this hypothesis that if we incorporate model-based engineering, which is sort of like DevOps for cyber physical products, it'll make things better. That should make things go faster. And then, you know what else? We're going to roll out Agile. So I heard people say, roll out Agile, implement Agile, deploy Agile. Outside of where engineering was happening, though, there was not much in the way of new ways of working. And there were systemic issues that kind of came outside the boundary of the primary work system that teams couldn't solve. Yet all of these address everything just close to the primary work system and not really thinking through the interconnectedness through other parts of the organization. Additionally, SAFe was kind of what they call the apex predator in terms of agile at scale. And then there was the question, if we have our lean operating system, we have standard work, isn't that going to conflict? Who's responsible for helping us do things differently? And then became like this, like, you know, wanting to scratch the agile itch, because that was the buzzword again, and not really sure where to start. And so my team was a very small team, but we started out making sense of everything that we were seeing. And we thought, what could we propose? How should we be thinking about transformation? How should we be talking about transformation to these other groups? What could have success given that we were only a team of 2? And ultimately we came to one clear conclusion. We understood that agile would not be enough. This was a systems problem. It required a systems approach. And so that's kind of where we started. Another part of our reasoning process was, how could we talk differently and bring to bear some theories and research around organizations that might resonate in the system and start to change the conversation from, can we just roll out agile and SAFe, and can we morph it with our lean operating system, to a little bit more thinking through and perceiving what the system, that it exists, and have an appreciation for it and some of the theory behind it. One of them being the fundamental attribution error. So there's a white paper, as we were doing this research about different ways of thinking about it and talking to different people,